Well, hello there, everyone. It is Saturday, January 29th, 2022. No matter where you're at in the world, the country, I do hope you're safe. There's a northeastern storm gone up the East Coast. I think it's in Massachusetts now, but that's okay. I grew up in Maryland, lived in the Shenandoah Valley, lived up in upstate Maine. Not really upstate Maine, but on the coast, all the way up near Canada. So I have seen, and I was in Illinois, I was in Colorado. So I have seen my share of big storms. The bad thing about blizzards, though, is that if the power goes out, it's cold. And I've experienced that before. I've experienced power going out when it's been hot. It's like I was telling the missus today, if we lose our power in some storm down here, like a summer or tropical storm, well, we'll sweat. If you lose it when you're up north, you might freeze. So it is what it is. All right. But anyway, I was going to talk a little bit today about a housing bubble or a housing crash. Okay, I was thinking about a comment on another video I'd referenced my house I live in, the price going up. This doesn't bother me. It doesn't concern me. If it goes up and it crashes, it's okay. All I have to do is keep paying the mortgage, okay? So and I have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So in regards to housing crashes or housing bubbles, if you own your primary residence and you have a mortgage on it, I hope you have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. If you have an adjustable rate mortgage, interest rates can and do change over time. And if they took a spike up, you may not be able to afford your mortgage payment, okay? But a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, the principal and interest is constant. You know, the tax and insurance may go up, but the principal and interest is constant. Okay, so say in my situation, in my house, in 3 months is worth $1 million, and I just, it's $1 million. And then say 2 years from now, it's worth $450,000. Sure, I'd rather be worth $1 million, sure. But as long as I'm paying the mortgage, as long as I'm not trying to sell, it's not a big deal. Sure, I'd rather sell it at $1 million than sell it at $450,000. But you see the point? As long as I'm paying the mortgage, it's okay. Same for buying rental property. If you own rental property and you buy it and you have a fixed rate mortgage, even if you buy it when the prices are going up, as long as you're positive cash flowing, okay? Never speculate on that it's going to keep, prices will go up and you can get appreciation. Don't buy for appreciation, okay? Buy for cash flow. There are some big names out there right now. David Green, who's written a great book, and other big names who are saying, don't buy for cash flow, buy for appreciation. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Don't do that. That's just my thoughts. I'm not a financial advisor at all. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. Okay, I'm just costing you. I'm older. I'm just costing you. Don't gamble. Yes, some folks will get rich overnight. More folks will lose money. All right, be safe, be conservative. You can be safe and be conservative and buy rental property and still become wealthy in 10 years. You don't have to be risky. Just be safe and take your time. 10 years. What's 10 years? You can become financially independent in 10 years, I dare say, plus or minus, by investing in rental property. All right, so back to the housing bubbles, housing crashes. Rental properties, same thing. If you get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage and the value of the house goes up, you can do a couple things. You could sell it and move your money because now you have more equity, you have bigger equity, and you could maybe perhaps buy another property, maybe a better property that you wanted or whatever it might be. So that's a possibility. But then same thing for housing crashes. As long as, if it's rental property, always have positive cash flow. Rents will rarely drop. Rents go up, they don't normally drop. Okay, so as long as you have positive cash flow, as long as you can pay that mortgage, you're okay. Now I'm gonna flip back to this house here, okay? Here's a mistake some people make. If the house I'm living in, I've talked before on my channel about 2 ways to buy rental property. Doing a cashback refinance, that's refinancing a mortgage like on a rental property, pulling some cash out and using that cash to buy other rental property. I have done that twice. I've done cashback 3 times. I've done it 3 times where I pulled cash out, and I would make sure I'd run the numbers and I'd make sure that the refinance property, I was still positive cash flowing. and I would use that cash to buy another house, okay? So you're with me there. I can do that. I'm still positive cash flowing here. Now I own another rental. It doesn't matter if I pay too much, as long as it's positive cash flowing, I'm good there, okay? So we're all good. We're all on the same page right now. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. All right. Now the other option to get money to buy a rental property is to use a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. I have done that before. I had a paid off house in Virginia. I got a small HELOC of $30,000. I used parts of that at times to assist me with paying down payments to buy my first rental properties. Then I would work towards paying that balance down, because I didn't like, if I defaulted on that HELOC, I could lose my personal residence. So I wanted to keep my balance low, okay? I didn't want to have a high balance. So I've had someone ask me, it's like, well, Mazske, if you're getting all this equity in your house here, why don't you get a HELOC? I'm not going to do it. Even if the value went up to $1 million and a bank would do it, the bank would say, they might say, we'll give you 75% of the value of your house minus your mortgage. And do easy math, let's say one mortgage is $500,000. If they would loan me 75% of $1 million, that's $750,000. So potentially subtract the $500,000, potentially they could give me $250,000, okay? I could use that to buy a whole bunch of rentals, correct? Or maybe an apartment building. I'm not going to do it. Why? Because it's putting my personal residence at jeopardy. I do live in Florida, where houses in Florida historically they do crash at times. Sometimes, more California, Florida, Washington, I think, New York. Some places, bigger, higher market areas, they do go up, they do crash, okay? It's happened in Florida before. Now, I don't think housing in my area is going to crash, because so many people are still moving here. And they can't keep up with demand. They can't build enough new houses. There's waiting lists. Like, if you want to build a new house, it's 1 year to 2 years to get it built. Like I'm hearing that 18 months to 2 years now. It used to be 1 year, but now it's more like closer to 2 years. That's a long time. And what it is, there's a lot of folks moving to Florida from New York, Boston, California, Seattle, where there's high expensive areas, more expensive than here. And so they got money because they're selling their houses there. They got a chunk of money, and they're driving up prices in this area. Okay. Now, granted, those folks may not keep coming here forever. But then again, they may. People always seem to want to move to Florida. So my thoughts would be where I live at, and for the whole state, not localized markets, but that prices, they're going to go up for a bit, but they're going to stabilize, and they could come down, but I don't think they're going to crash. Nationally, there also is a housing shortage. We need something like 2 million houses. Okay, we don't have enough real estate. We don't have enough houses. So as long as there's a housing shortage, I don't see a national housing crash. Sure, prices could dip at some point. They could dip. They could go down 10%. But who cares? I've already talked about 30-year fixed rate mortgages. Who cares if values drop 10%, 20%? Who cares if they drop 50%? Unless you're getting ready to sell, then you're selling for less money. That's the only downside. So if you're getting ready to sell, hopefully you can just hold on and ride it out until prices go back up, because real estate can go up and down sometimes, but it takes time. It doesn't happen. It's not like stocks where it happens overnight. It can take years, okay, to go up and down. So anyway, hopefully this video has made sense to you. Do I think we're in a housing bubble? Not really. In certain markets, yes. West Coast, California, Seattle, different places, yes. New York, perhaps. Boston, perhaps. I don't know for sure. But in the bigger cities on the coast, yes, perhaps. And prices if there are markets where it's too expensive for someone working a job to get a mortgage, okay, and it's just too expensive. So something has to give there. But for the majority of the country, yes, you may need a 2-income family to buy the house, but for the majority of the country, most folks can, if they're working a job, you can get a mortgage. Okay, it might take, you got to have a work history, you got to have a 2-year work history, but most folks can qualify to get a mortgage, even if it's on a smaller house. Because the problem with Americans is we want the big stuff. Like when we're 25 years old, we want the big stuff. Watch my interview yesterday with Darius. He's 25 years old. He's buying his first rental property. He still lives with his parents. I think that's outstanding. All right, you got to spend time with your parents. And he's not buying the Charger, as he said. He's buying a rental house. Closes in about 2 days. Okay, this is at 10 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. Stay safe, love life, stay warm wherever you're at. Mazske is signing out.